everyone! Welcome to Title the Podcast with Joe.
And Joe, welcome back. Welcome, everyone.
Season 2 episode.
Oh my gosh, 4. And we have guests today.
Yes!
We have one that's returning. This is her 3rd episode now. Say hi, friend.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Andrea. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Andrea. So,
Hi.
Andrea, this is your 3rd episode.
It is.
I think the first one we did was on singlehood.
Yes.
And then the other one was on Filipino community.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have somebody else here with us today.
New guest.
voice.
Yay!
Welcome everybody to Steph.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Steph.
So
Welcome
honored to be
Title.
invited and to be part of this something so big.
Getting bigger.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for making the time. So we've introduced Andrea before. So Andrea, we met at church.
Mm-hmm.
Steph, we actually also met at church. So clearly, we're just bringing all our church folks together.
Yes.
Church peeps, come on down.
Yeah. Okay. So our topic today, that's why we brought Andrea and Steph here today, because Andrea and Steph both have very diverse backgrounds when it comes to the topic for today.
Yeah.
Our topic for today is work.
Work.
Ayan, work po tayo today. Ayaw na namin mag-work, pero...
We're just gonna talk about work and, the cultures around work.
Yeah, specifically work cultures. What makes a work culture good or bad or ugly or in between? So between the 4 of us, we've worked at various industries and various different workplaces.
Management.
And
Different managements, yeah.
with management, with different kind of people. So we thought we'll go through what are some of our experiences. So baka makarelate kayo kung ano yung mga na-experience nyo na. And then I guess a little bit also of how we survived some of those bad ones, and then how we ideally, help to build some of the good ones.
Wow.
Kunyari, syempre may contribution tayo.
Okay, so let's start.
Ayun na. Nagkahiyaan pa po guys kasi bago yung mga guests namin. Okay, so everybody usually talks about a toxic workplace, right?
Yes.
That's such a common thing you hear on social media, in TV, in movies, ganyan. So, how would you describe a toxic workplace? Not necessarily one you've been in, but a workplace that you would define as toxic.
For me, there's no unity between the staff members. Because that's a very, very important part of working together in an industry or in a department.
True. Okay. Yeah?
Yeah. I guess when it doesn't feel like a team anymore, especially when your leader is someone who probably is the toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it would be a toxic leader.
So places where there's no unity and places with toxic leadership.
Yes.
Unpack those. Andrea.
I think for me in the past, a toxic workplace would be a company that hyper focuses on their values, but you don't see that in the office. So for example, if their mission statement is about we love people, we want to be part of community, but you're not seeing that in the office. Like it feels siloed. People don't feel safe when they go to work. Not per se for physical safety, but more of like it's not a place where they can grow anymore. There's also lack of teamwork. The discrepancy between what the company believes versus that being executed in the office, that's when I know it's a toxic work environment.
Ayun na po guys, tapos na. No, that's yeah. I think Andrea touched on so many different things. For me, what I would define as a toxic workplace is, like Tanya touched on it a little bit. It's a place where you don't feel safe. So I very clearly remember a workplace where every day you're on edge because there's a feeling of you're not sure what management is going to do that day. You're not sure what leadership will be deciding on that day. And then there's a constant fear also of your coworkers throwing you under the bus.
Or you're gonna get in trouble.
Or you're going to get in trouble either by somebody at work or by the customers or the clients or whatever. Now, every day is a struggle for like, oh my gosh, I don't feel safe coming to work. Safety.
Not just the safety, it also feels unhappy for you.
Yeah.
So, like, why would you even want to go to a place where you feel unhappy?
Right.
Yeah.
You feel unsafe. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Okay, so which one did you want to unpack first?
Oh, I wanted to add something.
Okay.
Another toxic, what's it called? Another characteristic of a toxic work environment is when you have Sunday scaries. So on Sunday
Oh, yeah.
afternoon, after lunch, you already have this anxiety of like,
Ayoko na pumasok
I don't
bukas.
want to go to work.
It's so
Yeah.
dreadful.
And you think about, I wish it was the next weekend.
Mm.
And I've had that in the past where I'm like, why am I thinking about the next weekend when my weekend has not ended yet? Because you dread how much the work week is going to be.
Totoo.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with the disunity at work. Do any of you have any examples of what that looks like where the workplace feels like it's very disjointed, there's no teamwork?
Oh yeah.
Of course. You know, when you notice some of your coworkers are grouping together.
Yeah.
So
Without
that-
you.
With even not, like, I don't have to be necessarily involved in that. But, you know, when they're grouping together, you see like, oh,
It's not
these
becoming
people-
cliquey.
Yes.
It's very cliquey, yeah.
And then it's always them in one side and the other in another side. You know, things like that. You start to notice that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially it's very apparent or obvious when you're the new person coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel like
Welcome.
very welcome,
Mm.
and you know you give it some time, but you still don't feel welcome. So, yeah, I've had that before, and it just feels like it's me against them the entire time. I don't know why. Like I passed the whole I'm the newest, latest team member, right?
Mhm.
But it's just that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's not fun. When they start grouping together, and I think that's one of the things where it's difficult to see it when you're actually part of the in group.
Interesting.
Right? Like,
you're not
if-
aware of it.
You're not aware of it.
Yeah,
If you're
okay, I
if
never
you
thought
if you
of
tend
that.
to be part of the ones that are in that group, and then you don't remember what it was like when you were the new person.
Right. That's a good
That makes
point.
it hard to. And you're right. I think what builds on that is that if your workplace starts becoming cliquey and you start feeling ostracized, you start feeling left out, it's very hard to then build teamwork
Yeah.
in whatever it is that you're doing because you don't know if you can trust them.
Yes. There's no trust.
And you can
there.
very
Yeah.
and you can very clearly tell they don't trust you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Andrea?
Sure,
Have you had
Disunity.
any have you had any experiences in a workplace where there's very clear disunity, and what did that look like?
Oh yeah, like I've been in teams where I don't feel like I'm part of the team, and it's because one person wants to do one thing, one person just is there for the sake of being there, and it really comes down to your leadership, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you guys can attest to that. Like, if your leader is disorganized, the team, you will feel that amongst your team members. But if your leader is someone who wants to have a cohesive team, understands that, okay, this is how one person works, this is how one person works, and like somehow figure out how to make them work together,
Interesting.
it's you will notice unity in that team, and I've seen that in different teams I've worked in. But in terms of like in terms of lack of unity in a team, I really feel that comes from the lack of leadership from my manager or from the one who I am reporting with.
That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Reporting to.
That's a good point because usually when you go in for a job interview, they do the first thing usually one would ask, especially coming from a hiring manager would say
Mhm.
how well you can work with a team. It's something that they're looking for, right?
Mhm.
If you're a good team player and everything, because they know that can make or break a team if you're not really one that can work well with other team members. But then don't you think, yeah, I agree with you, like leadership should be kind of like
Mhm.
aware whether or not the team is working well. So do you think that they should wait for someone to come and tell them like, hey, I'm not working well with so and so, or do you think it's up to them to kind of observe that? Do you know what I mean? And kind of catch it on their own, or
Yeah.
are they waiting on you? Do you think they should wait on you to kind of bring it to their attention? Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's a good
Mhm.
question. Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like it's also the leadership to kind of be aware of how their team is working, but also I think we should also be able to speak up and say. But the question is, do we feel safe speaking up and saying that we're not working well as a team,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because then you don't know. So there's a lot of things that can play into. But I do agree. Like leadership does, it's up to leadership to make sure the team, work well and there's unity. But sometimes it's hard too. I know it's a different topic, especially those who are working remotely and everything.
That's
You know
another
what I mean? That's why I
question,
would like
Remote
to
work.
say. Well, like it's nice if you do come in I know this is a very what do you call it? What's the word called?
Controversial or
unpopular opinion.
Uh-huh.
Being back at a workplace, so you can.
Hot take.
That's my hot
Hot take is such a millennial thing. Hot take.
Most teamwork if you come back together in the office. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
say could not. But yeah, like for sure.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think for me, I totally see it as a leadership thing.
Yeah.
I'm not putting everything on leadership, right?
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. Like, there are really individuals that make it hard to work with each other.
Yeah.
But I completely agree, Andrea, that I feel like it's the way leadership, exemplifies the culture that they want, really plays a big role
Yeah.
in how everybody else within that organization start acting. Like in my current workplace, our boss really emphasizes leadership by example and really focuses on people first type of leadership. So sa kanya, ang focus niya would be, well, what's the best for the people? Not necessarily what's the best for, profits or what's the best for our stakeholders. Like ang main stakeholder niya lagi is, well, what's the best for our team and for our people? And you can see how yung leadership style niyang yon is trickling down to the directors that report to her. And then the managers that report to them. Now, I'm not sure how far that goes down the chain, ang laki kasi nung department namin. But at least from our main C-level executive down to the directors, down to the senior managers, you can see that everyone's trying to focus on the people because that's what they're seeing from our boss. Which is very different from the previous workplace where I was at, where I was starting to see yung mga group clicky na gano'n.
Yeah.
Tapos yung bosses namin, nakikisama sa mga groups.
Oh.
I'm like, okay.
Okay.
It made it very difficult because you didn't know who to trust, right? Like what you were saying,
Interesting,
Steph,
yeah.
where it's like, even if you bring up these concerns with your bosses,
Yeah.
how do you know that you're not going to be labeled as the problem? In one of my previous workplaces, when people spoke up, they're the ones that got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Same for my workplaces as well.
Yeah.
Very big talaga yung unity, no?
Or it could be also
Yeah.
the same thing where you do bring it up, nothing gets done about it.
Yeah.
So that's also
Yeah.
just as frustrating.
Yes.
So you're just
And then you realize that management is part of the problem.
yeah.
Because you're like, I brought it up and they didn't do anything. It's
Yeah.
like,
Or who knows why? Like maybe could cause all the problems too. But yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It
that
is.
happens. It happens.
So I guess we've identified that a toxic workplace is a workplace where there's disunity. And then the flip side of that is a workplace where leadership gets to promote that kind of unity and gets to promote a culture of camaraderie.
Mhm.
And whether or not it's a hybrid workplace or it's fully remote is a different topic.
Okay.
We'll make that topic the next time.
Yes.
We have thoughts.
Yes, let's discuss that.
But okay, in your defense, I was just talking to a coworker about this. I love working from home. I absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
But there definitely is something to be said about the culture that's built when people get to come together in the office.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nah, the little things of like walking past somebody at the water fountain. There's a
Yeah.
reason they call it like water cooler conversations, right? Like you talk about your weekends, you talk about what happened out in the world, right? Like conversations that will not happen if everything is remote. Because let's be honest, you do a meeting remotely.
Mm-hmm.
After the meeting, everybody turns their computer off. Like nobody wants to stay there and chit chat
Yeah.
on a Zoom call. I'm like,
Yeah.
bye.
Yes.
Like, agenda's done. I'm done. Bye.
Yeah.
Whereas in an actual meeting, if you're in office, right, like you all sit there, you do the meeting.
Mhm.
After the meeting, you walk with somebody out back to your desk.
Yeah.
There's like conversations constantly going, and I find that once you build those relationships in person, they help promote the unity. Like we're talking about unity.
Yeah.
When you go virtual,
Yeah.
because then I found that the coworkers that I've never met in person, I find it a lot harder to work with them virtually because I would misread their emails. I'm like, kulit naman ito, tanong ng tanong. I'm like, I already said no.
Yeah.
You know, whereas if I've met them before and we have a good relationship, then I'm a lot more
Conscious.
conscious, and I guess a lot more patient also with like their requests and their emails.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. There's no. Oh, there's less of a misunderstanding.
There's also
But
a
yeah.
misunderstanding for sure. Okay, so unity. What was the next one we were talking
It
about?
was about toxic.
The toxic leadership.
Or yeah, that can. Yeah, toxic leadership does create a toxic workplace. I mean, it starts with leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes it can be just team members themselves not being able to work together, which doesn't create a good team. And then there's also toxic leadership, who, but I don't know. What do you
It
guys?
kind of
think?
sets the tone for the
Yes,
team, right?
yeah.
So if you're toxic, that will kind of fester into the team members.
Yes. Yeah.
Some are not as affected. Some kind of like emulate that toxicity,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? And like just based on my experience, me being the main character, obviously it affects me.
Yes. Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's an example, or what are examples of a toxic boss or just toxic leadership behavior or style that you've seen?
I've seen toxic leadership or just bad leadership in general where they target people.
Mm.
They target people. I've seen that happen before, and I've seen it, with my own eyes. And I feel so bad for those. Some of them, their response is like, whatever, roll off their shoulders. They don't care. Even though I can you clearly have a target on you, and she's targeting you.
Mm-hmm.
Others are just like, they take it personally. Like I would feel that way too if I felt like I was being targeted. I would take it personally, and it would be so stressful, such a stressful situation to always come into a workplace like that where you feel like you have a target in your back.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always something up. Yeah, I've seen that like firsthand. Not from me personally, but with a previous coworker, where she was targeted, and she just kind of grew thick skin and was able to like deal with that.
Wow,
Yeah.
good for her.
So that's one prime example of toxic leadership.
What are examples of what you would call having a target on your back?
I would say from that experience, it was because they had a working relation prior to that leader going into that role, moving up, being promoted into that role. So since they didn't get along when they were at the same level, I guess she took that time to took that opportunity
Oh no.
to target her. And what does that mean, targeting her? Like watching her every move, basically. Getting HR involved. And then criticizing emails she sent out. Making sure that she's being performance managed at each opportunity that she can get when she can, when there's a chance to performance manage her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so bad.
Yeah. It's pretty, So that's what I heard. I asked her directly, like, well, where is this coming from? And that's what she told me. And I was like, oh my goodness, good for you. You're so strong. I would have
I would have left.
I would have left because I'm too weak for that.
Me too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Kept targeting her. She just stayed put. She's like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. She's union. She's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You can target me all you want, performance manage me all you want, get HR involved, but you can't touch me. And she knew that. But she's union.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's like, whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you bully me. Yeah, so that's another thing is targeting someone, a toxic leader is also
A bully.
Bully.
Bully, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bullies. in the
Yeah, bullies, yeah.
workplace.
I'm sure you guys have experienced that. Come
Mhm.
across different leadership that kind of not complete bully, but kind of in a way. Like they don't get to the top unless they somehow was able to get their own way, get their way,
Mhm.
right?
What about you, Joe or Andrea? Any examples of a
I feel like Joe does have stories.
Yeah.
No.
of a toxic leader or a toxic leadership trait?
Mm-hmm.
Micromanager.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
A classic example, right?
Mhm.
Micromanager, yeah. That's I think we've all seen it. When, a manager or a leader wants control of everything,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
wants to make decision for everybody,
Mhm.
Yes.
and would always over you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Watch every move you
Yes.
make.
Every move you make.
You have to explain what you're doing to them.
and want to
Yeah.
be CC in everything. CC in every single
100%.
email.
But why?
Right?
Why?
And like,
Wow.
so you-
Control. It's all about control.
You're right. I agree with
Mhm.
you.
It is
So
control.
true.
And this is a good segue for me, Adley, because control also projects insecurity. And my toxicity trait for a leader is an insecure leader. And I've had this before.
Mm.
I've had a leader who allegedly had many years of experience in my industry.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw it firsthand, this person knew nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I became an anchor to this person, to this leader, because I knew how to do my job.
You actually know the work.
I know the work. So how an insecure leader comes about is, again, as a micromanager, they
Mhm.
ask you all the things that you're doing. They need to be copied in everything that you do. And then when it comes to actual meetings with higher leaderships,
Yeah.
they take credit for
Oh
your
my
work.
goodness, I've seen that too. I have seen that.
They
Yeah.
take credit for your work,
Yeah.
right? And then when you're in one-on-ones with them, you're like, you're not making any sense, right? You're just going in circles.
Like, that's my
circles.
idea.
Exactly, you're going in circles. They expect you to do the work. You explain and present the work to them, and they take that work
Yeah.
to present it to their managers, whoever coming into the office.
Parang malalaki yung
Yeah.
manager na yan, ha?
Oh, so true. And God forbid something fails and they blame it on you. Yeah,
Yes.
seen that
Absolutely.
before. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
horrible.
That too, right?
and that has happened too. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, Andrea, what's going on with this? It's like,
Yeah.
what's going on with this is because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know about how you're doing your job, right?
You messed up.
Right. And I think for me, I've seen leaders who know a lot of things, but they don't need to tell me that they know a lot of things.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right? I see it through their action. I
Mhm.
see it how they treat other colleagues. I see how they present themselves with leadership. But when an insecure leader comes into play, I can see right through you. Right? I can see right through you. And unfortunately that takes a lot of emotional labor to go through when you go to work.
Yes.
Because now you're like, I'm managing my own work, but I'm also managing how this person's gonna approach me and how I'm gonna approach this person when they come to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been kind of like one of my contentions when it comes to leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Adding to that, insecurity is like the lack of accountability.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
I don't know if it comes from pride as well. Like it all just kind of all
Mushes
comes
up,
together.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think that I don't like that when they don't have any accountability. They just blame. But yeah. Usually I see that when we have a good leader when they take like
Take accountability.
responsibility
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
that, and then even though it's on specifically on you, but really it's like nope.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's my fault. I should have had eyes on this or
Yes.
whatever. But most leaders, I would say more so than not, don't take the blame.
Yeah.
They will
True.
not.
I know we haven't really talked about what a good leader is, but I'll just bring it up.
Yeah.
A good leader knows how to say I don't know.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
okay to say I don't know.
Versus
Yeah.
a bad leader is like, I have 30 years of experience. I should know this. So you tell me the answer now.
Yes. I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's true. It's reminding me of how parang we've touched on it in a couple of different ways, right? Like a good leader, I think, promotes that psychological and emotional safety at work,
Yeah.
right? Like a toxic leader, like what you're saying, Andrea, creates that feeling of, oh my gosh, this is so much work for me. Because then you have to manage up, you have to manage down, you have to manage all around. Like, you're not the one supposed to be managing, but
Yes.
the emotional labor of having to constantly feel like, are they watching me? Are they taking something that I've worked on? And then if something happens, they're gonna be blaming me.
Right.
And then you're trying to figure out, well, what's their attitude today? Like, are they in a good mood today? Are they not in a good mood today? How do I present my work to them today? It's just like so much of it takes up so much of your mental space
Yes.
100%.
to be
Yeah.
working with them. And I think to me that speaks to like a very unsafe work environment.
Yeah.
Because in a previous workplace I've had, I remember every day I'd go to work and I'd either feel like I'm gonna get fired today or I'm gonna quit today.
Oh,
I'm gonna quit today. I'm gonna quit today. Today's the day I'm gonna quit. Or I'll come in the next day and be like, oh my gosh, that one thing yesterday I didn't finish. I'm totally gonna get fired today.
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna get fired. It was such a roller coaster of just like, I'm gonna quit. No, I'm gonna get fired.
Yeah.
I'm so underappreciated. Oh my gosh, I'm under the microscope. They're watching everything I'm doing. I'm being targeted and all these. I was like, I had to leave, and it wasn't until I left and went to a different workplace where things were so different that I realized that a lot of the stress that I was feeling was from the leadership. Which is the kind of example they've set, the kind of culture that they set. The workplace I work at now, I have really good leaders. And like what you were saying, Steph, I have leaders who actually, in meetings with other stakeholders across the company, would own up to a mistake that I've done.
Yeah.
So I had this one leader, we were in a meeting, and I was supposed to send out some material to the group ahead of the meeting. But there were a couple of different things that I was working on, so I dropped the ball on this one. Like, I actually did. And so when somebody in the meeting, like another stakeholder from another department, was like, oh, we did not receive the documents that were supposed to be sent out. I was ready to pipe in to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, that was on me. But my director was actually the one who was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to send Joe all the stuff ahead of time. That's on me. We'll get that sorted. I walked to that director's office after the meeting. I was like, no, you did send me the stuff early on. It was my fault. Like, I actually had it in my inbox.
Yeah.
I didn't work on it. And she goes, your mistake is my mistake. Like, the team's mistake is my mistake.
Yeah.
I was like, and that was a couple of weeks.
Cry?
I almost did, because that was a couple of weeks. That was only a couple of weeks from when I left the other workplace.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was so used to just like having my guard up all the time and constantly like fighting for survival. Then to have a director literally go, no, I understand. Like, I know you messed up, but it's like, but I also understand that you're part of my team. Like,
It reflects
back on me.
Yeah.
So she was like, it reflects back on me anyway. So me saying that was my mistake is something that people are expecting anyways.
Yeah.
And then she goes, like, it's
But it's,
teamwork.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
But it's a good sign. I think she knows that mistakes do happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, it's not that she's perfect. She knows mistakes are going to happen. And it's okay. That's part of working life in general.
Yes.
Or just part of life in general. So to see that, I think that would register in your mind now.
And
Knowing that it's okay to make a mistake.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's the thing. Like, honestly, having a leader do that for me has inspired me to be a lot more hardworking.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh no, we're actually all in this together, right? Like, I actually have to do well.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, my director's on the line for it.
Right.
As opposed to in the previous workplace where it just felt like, oh, I have to do everything on my own because I need to do this, I need to do this. Like, at some point, I'm just gonna quit. Because I was like, I can't match up to that level of like whatever perfection they're wanting, the level of micromanaging. Because once people around you start becoming micromanaging, there's no working out of that.
Yeah.
Like you always feel like, oh, if I do more work, if I do work well, they're gonna stop doing that. They don't. They absolutely don't.
Not at all.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's interesting to be in a workplace where leadership is inspiring people to do better work by showing you that you're actually part of the team and that it's okay, like what you're saying, it's stuff, right? It's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that if mistakes happen, then we pick it back up. We
Yeah.
work on it. We deliver after. Like
Yeah.
there's no point chastising anyone
Yes.
because it's like it's
Yeah.
not like you don't know you did a mistake.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Leadership.
Yeah, that's leadership. What was it? So we went
Isn't
from
this-
humanity to leadership.
I think,
forgot.
yeah, I was just
Sorry.
gonna say it's like really interesting how we think of toxic work environment as like, just like the peer people among us,
Mhm.
but when you really dissect it, it's the people who lead us.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not. I'm not saying that
I agree.
we cannot be toxic like us. Peers.
I'm not.
But like once you
Yeah.
dissect it, you're like, oh yeah, like it's really important to have a good leader,
Mhm.
especially when you
Totally.
work in an organization, right?
Yeah.
Because they set the tone.
They do, yeah.
They really set the tone. Because if you think about, like in the previous workplace, I'm thinking about where if the leader is able to lead well, toxic behaviors from the rest of the team don't survive.
Mm.
Because they try to sow discord, for example. They try to gossip, or they try to throw somebody under the bus.
Yeah.
How do you throw somebody under the bus when the leader literally goes, "Oh no, that was my mistake"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes the power out of being like, "Hindi, kasalanan niya eh, siya kasi may gawa, like she did this, she did that."
Yeah, it's very
If the leader doesn't follow that whole blame game and
Yeah.
goes, "Actually, that was my mistake,"
accountability is what
There's
Max
accountability,
said.
yeah.
Exactly.
then the toxic behavior goes away, because then the
Yeah.
person who's so used to throwing people under the bus, like, who do you throw under the bus? Your boss, like.
Mm.
And it's true. Like, and sometimes they would also call out the kind of behavior. If
Mhm.
you blame somebody,
Yeah.
what a leader would do would probably be like, oh, you know what? Like, we don't do that here.
Yes.
So we're a team. They kind of set, like you said, the tone.
Mhm.
So that's even better if they were able to kind of call out like what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what we can do as a team to be better.
That's
right?
true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, at least that's their kind of a good way for them to kind of act on something, right? Then
Mhm.
instead of like not acting on anything,
Mhm.
like removing certain people.
Bye.
But at least they don't feed into it.
Right.
They don't
Mhm.
provide fuel to it. So then in the end, like you said, 'cause they don't survive, so they might choose to just leave. Because,
Mhm.
I just had a thought. It's for people applying for jobs.
Mm.
Okay. I've had a lot of interviews over the years. One of the things that I always ask the people is when people are interviewing me, typically it's the manager who I potentially going to be reporting to.
Mhm.
The question that I ask, and I don't know if you guys ask these in your interviews,
Okay, yeah.
what is your management style?
Oh,
It,
I
gives,
asked that.
it gives me an idea of like, well, they won't reveal if they're micromanaging. They won't reveal their
No, not at
toxicity
all.
Of
Yeah.
course not.
in the interview.
Yeah.
Not outrightly.
Not outrightly, but I just want to like let them think and kind of I guess I want them to assess. Oh yeah, because how do I manage people? And
Yeah.
from that, you can gauge if they're going to be a good fit for you if you get an offer from them.
Yes. Yeah.
I've had experience where they told me they were going to be like the way they said it was, oh yeah, it sounds like a fit. In real life, they're not. So it's also a gamble, right?
They just know what to
Yeah.
say.
They just know what to say exactly. But just a tip: if you're looking for a job, always make sure you ask what the management style is of the person you're reporting to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Take that tip, guys.
So true. Because it's like now it's kind of it's not you wanting a job. Also, like, do I want to work for you?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
it's reciprocity.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Turning the tables.
Turning the
Yeah.
tables. Yeah. Getting that kind of power.
Yeah.
No, because it's actually a really good question to ask, because I believe there's studies that have been done. I don't have the facts and figures in front of me right now. There's studies that have been done of how big of an impact your manager actually has on your mental health.
Yeah.
More so than just your coworkers, or more so than the environment. It's your manager that has a big effect on your mental well-being at
Yes.
work.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would say vice versa.
Interesting.
How so? Paano vice versa?
Of course, syempre yung leader can also be affected by the staff's, personality.
Actually, I was gonna ask
all
that guy. So what happens, and I don't know if any of you have any experience on this,
I can.
where the leader is good. Like you actually have a good leader, a good boss.
Like the best.
Like maybe I won't say the best, but pretty good.
One of the best.
Strong leader. How about
A strong
that? Very
leader.
Strong leader.
With good morals and good
Yes, yeah,
values.
yeah.
Mhm.
But they come into a very toxic environment that the team has been so toxic for a long time that they end up like, you know, how does that kind of work? Like, parang
Okay.
uphill battle for this manager.
I can start.
Yeah.
I've had a team where I had a really good manager in a way that this is one of the managers who believed in me because it was at the start of my career.
Mhm.
So it was someone who believed in me, someone who saw my potential. I was also in a team that was very undermined by like other departments. I was like, oh, that team just does like one thing. They're not important. But like that's kind of how I felt. How I felt other departments treated our team. But when we had our manager, like the tone was, you guys are an integral part of the organization. If you don't do your job well, a lot of things will go bad. Like you spend too much money, you know, materials will go to waste. There's just too much variance and such. So I like the leadership because it sets the tone, even though other teams, you feel unimportant to other teams. Yeah, it just sucks that, you know, we only had this person for like only a couple of years. I kind of went downhill from there. I think
So they left?
So they left eventually.
Yeah.
Was she
so
pushed
that's-
out?
No, it is funny because this leader has been in that company for like more than 10 years.
Wow.
No, but she. Oh, I thought she came into that workplace.
She
She was a new boss. No.
he was in different department. He was a manager in a different department.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So he was leading now a different team, but he's been with the company for several years.
He's been in different roles within the company for like 10 plus years.
I see.
And then by the tail end of his career at that company, he took over our team.
Right.
Yeah. And that was also the time when I just kind of started in the role.
Right.
Yeah, a good leader would be someone who cuts the noise,
Yeah.
right? And cuts the noise and empowers your team and ensure that what you're doing is integral and important to the entire organization.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
my example.
Yeah. That's easier said than done because like sometimes when they come in, it's hard to, especially them being a new leader, and then those are the existing members, right? So like, what happened to the previous leader? You got sick of that team too.
The previous leader
Gave up?
had to go on like a long-term time off.
Oh, I see.
So he had to take over our team for that meantime.
Oh, I see.
And then that person came back, became our manager that I don't really like because she was one of the ones who kind of like made our team feel unimportant.
Right.
And that was also the time she came back, that was also the time our previous leader left. So.
But yeah, sometimes there's so many things like that play into that, like Joe, what you're saying. Sometimes I've always said this. I've had this. I don't know if I got the same from somewhere else, but you know, like we all lead ourselves. We're all leaders in ourselves, right? But in order to lead well, you should be able to as well follow well. Sometimes people aren't able to follow well too. So especially they don't do so well with different types of authority. So sometimes that kind of makes it difficult for the leader.
That's
Right?
true. That's
They
true.
can get very fatigued after, but you know, sometimes with leaders, what also they have to kind of strategize and figure out, okay, early on, especially, like sometimes you have the time exactly when you're going to make these changes, when you're noticing what's working, what isn't working, and especially what's not working, if that means moving certain members to a different department or whatever, what can you do?
Right.
You know, leaders don't necessarily want to do performance management, but they can give them work to keep them busy.
Right.
So then this other person can feel, another team member is affected by that other team member's behavior. There's a lot of ways that, you know, leaders can kind of like change things up within the team. But there's so many different ways, tactics that leaders have, especially if you're trying to make it work for the team and make sure there's like they're heading towards positive change. Especially, you know, but yeah, because sometimes like some people are just so used to whatever and not following, not buying into the vision of the new leader.
I do have a question though. So how do we deal with not the leaders but our fellow peers who don't follow the rules,
Right?
right? Or who cause a lot of drama or
Disarray.
or like just make sure that the workplace stays toxic.
Oh.
How do we deal with those people? Or have you encountered it in
So
your
what
work?
makes them cause the chaos? Like
Yeah, so for example, like you're a hard, like let's just assume that I'm a hard worker.
right?
Assume that.
So really,
And then, I do my job, I do give my 100%, but like my peer here, always gossiping, always doing other things, always making sure that I also resent the organization.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, have you guys encountered that?
Yes,
in your
I have.
workplace?
All day, every day.
It's all day, every day.
Every day.
Rhetorical
All day, every
question.
day. Yeah.
Right?
Just tune it out. For me, I tune it out. I don't know about you, Joe.
Yeah.
I tune it out and I take it down by being positive, and no one likes a positive person. You're like, oh,
No.
you're boring. So stop gossiping with me.
You kill them with kindness.
Yeah, you kill the kindness and like the positivity, and you're like, oh, you're no fun, and they don't
boring.
They don't gossip with me anymore.
How about you, Ate?
So let me share something.
Oh, God.
Here we
I know
go.
You've been itching to share your story.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
Oh, brace yourselves. No, just kidding.
You're good.
No, it's very similar to what Andrea just shared.
Mm.
So, I had a leader. Let's just put it that way. I'm not gonna mention any names.
Yes.
I'm not gonna mention anything.
Identifiable.
Some people who knows me
Yeah.
probably would know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
Here we go.
yeah. So I had a leader who was she was very good at what she does. Like she knows the whole
The industry.
operation, the industry in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where she built her career
Mm-hmm.
from the start. So she's very knowledgeable and all. And we've gotten really good relationship wise as 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 co-workers, let's put it that way. But so when she came in, it's already a toxic environment.
Mm-hmm.
It was already a mess. And since she knows like what's going on, what needs to be changed, she just went right in and didn't waste time, try to fix things and all that. But of course, a lot of people didn't like that.
People don't like change.
naturally.
Yeah.
People don't
Mhm.
like change. Rule number one.
Because I guess she came across as this person just came in and babaguhin na niya lahat. So parang,
Mm.
but eventually, she, through the course of her tenure with us, I would say na she really did her best to make everything more maayos, more
Right.
maayos in the department.
She improved a lot of things.
Yeah, she did. She
Yeah.
did. Besides, there's so many things she fixed. But on top of that, she was dealing with all these, challenges from certain individuals in the department because they always challenge her authority. They always challenge her, her decisions.
Right.
It got really, really bad. Like, really bad. To the point that she was transferred to somewhere else
Mm.
because of that. Which is such a loss for our department. Because she's really good.
Right.
She's really good. But I guess it comes to a point that nobody can do anything about it anymore.
Mhm.
Because honestly, some of the quote unquote complaints that were received were like absolutely absurd.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense. But of course, sometimes the noisiest people can get whatever they want.
It's so true.
Agreed. Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. It's the people who know how to talk,
Yeah?
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sad.
No, usually those who like, especially like people who create the most noise.
Mhm.
So true, the
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Squeak, squeak. You just have
Yeah.
to squeak. You don't have to really know how to talk. You squeak. And people just like, okay, you're being too like you're annoying. Okay, what do you want?
Stop. Yeah.
Because for me, how
You
I
give
see
in.
it is like, let's say there's 5 people who constantly complains.
Mm.
Let's just say. But upper management, rather, instead of dealing with those 5 people, because these people already have, constant complaints, like crazy. They already have like history. But then they're just gonna deal with one person instead of 5, right? That's what happened. In my opinion, that's what happened.
Right.
I think the other thing that we need to point out is that I think this specific example, Joy, you're talking about is in healthcare. Like the industry that, because I'm coming from, I used to work in healthcare where the culture is very different when you have healthcare employees with like different unions that you work with and then
Yeah.
different managements that you work with, and so that adds to that complexity. Because I know, obviously we're not naming any names and we're not saying any specific workplaces, but that adds to the complexity of the situation that Joe is talking about, where you have a whole team
Yeah.
of like people from different unions, and then people that are unionized and not unionized, and then management has to deal with all of those different things.
Yeah.
And so there is a different level of, I don't want to say toxicity, but as somebody who came from healthcare, I kind of have to say just a different level of toxicity that comes with an environment where you have a mix of all these things.
Yeah.
And then you have bad actors in there that know how to play the system very well.
Oh yeah, tell me
People
about
that
it.
understand
My gosh.
their collective agreements within their unions.
Oh, yeah.
People that understand the collective agreements of the other unions that they work with, and people who understand how to poke at management to get what they want because of just how entitled they've been in learning how to work that system.
Yeah, it's very different from corporate.
Yeah, very different from like private, for example. So like, I feel bad for your manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it sounded like they cared and they had the skills to make a difference.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But they were up against something that was gigantic.
Yeah, higher
It's
than
way
them,
beyond. It's way
Yeah.
beyond just our department.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not just like the culture of a team. Like, I think we've been discussing cultures within our teams and
Yeah.
within companies, but it's very different. Healthcare in Canada, for example, it's a different beast. So like the leadership has to deal with, it's just a whole mountain of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And it's not just that, because how it was done is very, very distasteful. It was announced without her physically being there.
So in this context of your industry, it seems very systemic. Is that right?
I have a different experience, but maybe I will come across the similar experience down the road. But
Yeah.
so I don't know. Is it systemic? Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Depends. Yeah, it depends. It varies, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say for this, it sounds like it's just easier to remove one person in order to answer to whatever was escalated. It's just
Yeah.
easier that way. And
It's
it's
easier
like,
to
here's the
appease,
resolution. The resolution is let's remove this. And then this is an easier resolve. And that's
Yeah.
unfortunately like a lazy part for whoever made that
Oh, yeah.
decision. Upper, I don't know who that may be. Because it's just they just did, for whatever reason, want to figure out different way. So easiest way obviously is to remove that person and hopefully but then it's obviously gonna be short term because whoever's gonna replace this manager is
Yeah.
gonna come up again, especially if it's the common denominator is like what you say is
The people.
those group of people. I don't know. And I guess time will tell. But I don't know.
I think I wouldn't say, Andrea, that it's systemic. I think what I would say, as somebody who's worked in an adjacent industry, in a very similar industry, the building blocks are there for it to be a very toxic environment.
Okay.
But not necessarily that whole industry is systemically built around a certain level of toxicity.
Okay.
Right? Like, does that make sense? I think
Yeah.
the conditions are there
Mm-hmm.
where if you don't know how to navigate that system, or if leadership does not know how to work with those different silos and the different teams and the different unions and the
Right.
different systems that we have in place, it's very, very easy for the teams to get toxic.
Got it.
But I wouldn't blame the system as a whole,
Yeah.
right?
I don't. Yeah, it could. I mean, it's systemic in a way where if it's healthcare, I don't know what kind of professionals, Joe, you're talking about. I do, but I won't say out loud. But these healthcare workers are most of the time burnt out, tired.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that probably contributes to. I don't
How they
know. I can't speak for them.
behave,
Yeah, their behavior.
Mhm.
Yes and no.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But you know why? Because some of these people hardly do anything.
Okay, so they
Mm.
they're not burnt out.
They
enough.
have the
They're not
audacity
burnt
to
out.
do all the complaints.
They have so much time to do the complaining.
Exactly. My gosh, people. What the
Yeah.
heck?
That is the purpose of going to work.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like, you have time to complain, but you don't have time to do your
your
job.
work.
To do your
Yeah.
job.
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
I would understand if you're the brightest of the bunch, right?
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you're not, you just sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my
And to
God.
channel that energy, because I've always worked in private,
Mhm.
and when there are serial complainers,
Mhm.
they just complain,
Yeah.
complain
About little things.
about
Yes.
little things. They
Yes, I
complain
know.
how crappy the company is. Then I look at them like, why don't you find another job?
Exactly.
Yes,
Like, if you don't want to
Go
be
add
here,
value somewhere else.
yeah, if you don't want to be here, go find another job.
But they won't because it's convenient.
It's convenient, and it gives
Yeah.
someone some sort of like power, like that they can complain.
I
Right?
manipulate everybody.
Yeah.
Especially
Exactly.
those who have been in the company for the longest
For the
time.
longest
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Maybe the management or upper leadership is definitely counting the days down of those whoever was part of that group until they retire.
But I think that's what you were talking about a while ago, right, Steph? Where it's like those complainers,
Yeah.
if it is within leadership's power to not only lead by example, but to nip those complaints in the
Oh
bud,
yeah.
to
Yes.
stop that from like growing into something.
Yeah.
Clearly, it sounds like from Joe's specific example in her previous workplace, right? Like that has festered for so long
Mhm.
Yeah.
that when the new leadership came in, they were up against something that's been established.
Yeah.
Like the networks have been established for all of
Yeah.
these people complaining towards each other. They're clearly so used to how the system works, like where the complaints need to go to, or like who they need to tap on the shoulder, who they need to talk to, that the toxicity isn't something that a leader is able to quickly say, no, we're not doing that here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, like Joe said, the new leader came,
Mhm.
made a lot of changes or improvement, and like you said, people don't like change.
Yeah.
People do not like change.
Yeah.
Like literally, they don't like change, and I'm always open to change, and I'm
Mhm.
always trying, as you know, someone in the workplace. I would always say, when I hear people don't like change, I can tell by what they're saying, what they're complaining about. I would always try to influence them and be like, change is good. Change
Mhm.
is good. Yeah, change is
Yeah,
good, but
yeah.
you gotta change. It's a mindset, right? I always tell
It's a
you
mindset for sure.
And yeah, so then like you're not even like giving the new leader a chance to kind
Yeah.
of succeed.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, so it's sort of like, it's kind of like, it's too bad that they have this mindset of like pushing back. Like I said, they've been in this role for so long, right? Those people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they don't like change. It's so obvious.
They
They don't
don't.
like change, and it's
'Cause I
unfortunate
think-
for them.
The other thing with change is that usually, if you, especially from what it sounds like, Joe, like that leader change systems and processes
Yeah.
from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which means if you've been in that job for so long, the last thing you want to do is learn a new system.
Yeah.
If you don't
That's
actually
so
care
useful,
about the
yeah.
job and you don't care about the company and you don't care about your customers or clients or whatever, right? Like for you, I'm here to get a paycheck. So if you tell me there's this new system that improves everything for everybody else,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't improve things for me.
Yeah.
Like it makes me want to do.
Inconvenient.
It's inconvenient. Exactly,
Yes.
it's inconvenient for me. So I'm not gonna want this change, and you're gonna make a big deal
You
out of
see,
it.
the
Big
thing
deal.
is, a lot of people don't realize that managers or leaders have a different lens looking at this
Yes.
system.
That's a good
Yes.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They don't see the whole picture
Mhm.
as managers does.
Yeah, they have a bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
Whereas them, it's just they're very tunnel vision.
Yes.
Because obviously,
That's what you're paid to do. It's like to do
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. Whereas the
Yeah.
manager has to look at the rest of the alphabet to be like,
Yeah.
how does this
Yeah.
kind of fit into?
yeah.
And but people don't like that. Oh.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad, but
And you sound like you care about your job. That's why you're
I
really
do.
upset about
I like
this.
my job because I only
Yeah.
report to the manager.
The manager.
I don't get involved with any other people in the department.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess that kind of touches on what Steph was saying a while ago, where Andrea were asking, so how do you deal with all of those? So Steph and Joe clearly are just like, we just don't deal with them. We don't
just
want to
don't.
deal with all the toxic people. And then
Yeah.
Steph, you go a little bit further, be like, I be the one that's positive. Just be like,
And you know what? In my position, I see both sides.
mm,
Because sometimes these people complain to me or tell me about what they don't like,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But then I work closely with the manager, which I know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, if
mhm.
only I can make you guys understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's frustrating sometimes.
Like in terms of analogy, so the manager sees like the whole machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Whereas if you're someone who's been in the organization for, I don't know, 10, 20 plus years, and you really only care about what's in your scope, you're the cog in the
Yeah.
machine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like that's all you care about, being a cog. Whereas the manager's like, no, I want every other parts to work so that
Yeah.
the machine is functional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because in the
Mhm.
long run, it's good for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the thing too, mostly with systemic change, the benefits don't come until later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because once you roll out the change, there's obviously some kinks that you have to work
Yeah.
through, and then just a transition. People don't see it, so all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, your idea is so bad. Everything's failing. Nothing's working."
Yeah.
And then you're making us do more work, and so everyone
Yeah.
just starts complaining more and more about it,
Mm.
Yeah.
and then it becomes toxic for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can
100%.
only imagine what it's like to be, even if like I'm picturing myself in like your workplace, Joe. For example, even if I don't work with management directly or I don't work with those different teams, even if I'm just like in a completely separate team watching all of this unfold, it's not fun. Because
Yeah.
then you know after a while it's gonna affect your work,
Yes.
it's gonna
Yeah.
affect your team. You're just waiting for the wave to come. And also I've been in a situation where it's similar to that, where you walk into the office and you can tell something's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just not fun. Like I'm like, I already don't want to go to work. So then I come to work and no one's happy. Like I can't
Yeah.
talk to anyone because this person's mad at this person's unhappy about what this other
Yeah.
person said, and
It's
this
too
person
much
is stressed.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
You don't look forward going to work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even the work itself. It's like the
it's not the
people.
work,
It's the
exactly.
people.
Oh,
Like, I
yeah.
love what I
Like,
do.
what?
Yeah.
People,
Like, it's not a very pleasant experience after
It's
all. You're like,
not.
what? Yeah.
So I guess what we've come to in the past hour that we've been talking,
Yeah.
we've come to an agreement that there are workplaces that are toxic and there
Yeah.
are workplaces that are not so toxic. And the toxicity could be just within your team,
Mhm.
it could be your whole department, it could be the whole organization, or it could actually be, you know, the whole industry has
Yeah.
like something along those lines. And so we act accordingly by, you know, being able to identify these different workplaces.
Yeah.
So what is something that we want to leave people with, and we can all go, you know, one at a time. What's an advice or word of wisdom that you want to give to people as they navigate their workplaces? Assuming this is somebody who's identified na, hala, medyo toxic pala yung workplace ko.
Yeah.
What do I do?
I'll start up. Start a plan B.
Mm.
You really don't-
CDE.
honestly, this is from my experience. You don't really have to stay at that work,
Yes.
right?
That's
and
true.
this could be another topic too.
Yeah.
Your self-worth is not coming from work,
Yes.
right?
Say that again. Say that again.
Your
for people in the back.
self-worth should not come from work.
Amen.
So if you're not happy at your work, find any way. You can talk, you can vent about work. That's totally fine. But if you're seeing that it's affecting your mental health,
Yeah.
and like it's manifesting in your like you getting physically sick. You need to start planning a plan B or plan C or plan Z. Because it's not worth going through all of that when it's causing all these pain to yourself.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna, I guess, echo that same thing.
Echo that.
Well, I mean, I've been in a similar situation where it wasn't working out for me, whether it be a toxic leader or a toxic workplace. But both times I've always prayed about it. So for me, if you have faith like I do, I pray about it, like, Lord, direct my next steps, and then usually I do have to pivot. I have to strategize in terms of where to go next, what to do. Is it me leaving? But sometimes it works out in that favor of, let's say, the leader leaving, or me being transferred, or that person leaving. It always works out somehow, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, make plans, pray about it, and then hopefully your prayer of that person being removed does get answered. You don't have to leave yourself because it's less work for you.
That's the best kind of answer prayer.
Yeah, that's the best, it's the easiest. But if it's you being called somewhere else, that's good too. That means you have more, opportunities elsewhere. So, but yeah.
I think for me, I echo what you both have said. No, it's hard to say something else when you've heard like good examples, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, if you're starting to feel like the place you're in is toxic, I think it'll be very good to actually sit down and think about what you find is toxic. Like, is your leader toxic? Is your manager being micromanaging? Are your coworkers being very gossipy and being very cliquey? Like, for me, the first step would be to identify what actually is it that's toxic about my workplace. Why do I feel the way I feel? Because that would help with like what Andrea was saying, with the plan B to Z that you'll be finding. Or what Steph was saying, for like, you're praying for what the next steps would be. Identifying what's not working in your current environment will help you determine what you'll be looking for in your next environment.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like, for me specifically, when I left this workplace that I found very toxic, it was very clear to me by the time I was ready to leave that the main toxicity was coming from leadership. My coworkers were acting the way they were acting because of the pressure that leadership has put on our team. The environment was the way it was because of how leadership was working on the culture. And so when I was looking for the next places that I want to work at, when I was preparing my plan B, C, D, E, F, G, the main thing I was thinking about and the main thing I was looking for was what are the kind of leaders that you have in that organization? Like, what's the kind of leadership style that they have? What's the environment like? Because I was very much ready to leave where I was at.
Yeah.
And then it also helped me direct my prayers too.
Yeah.
Like, I like that you brought that up, because it was that where I was like, Lord, I need to be in a place that, one, that you prepared for me, and then two, when I started in the new place that I was working at, the first thing that I was praying for was like, Lord, I hope I was right in how I assess the leaders that I'll be working with, because during the interview, they were great. When I was talking to some other people that worked in the same company, they had good things to say. I was just like, Lord, I pray that the leadership here is actually, as good as I thought they would be. And so it's that. Identify the issues that you're dealing with right now, and then that helps teach you what you don't want in your next kind of workplace.
Yeah.
So,
Love that.
Okay, so for me, I agree with all of you.
you echo it also.
In closing, we cannot control toxic environments
Yes.
if we're just part of that place or whatever. It's not up to us to actually clean it up or solve it or what. But you don't have to be a part of it.
Yeah. I love that.
Right? So if the place is already toxic for you, and we spend more than half of our lives working.
Yeah.
So
More than a third of
How
our day
depressing.
working.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
basta most of our lives, di ba, working. So you create your own space for your own self to have that safe space for you. Even dun sa desk mo lang or what. You know, just always go back to, just ground yourself with and free your mind
Yeah.
with all this toxicity. You don't have to be a part of it.
Yes.
And try not to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And try not to propagate it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wag ikaw ang mag-spread ng toxicity.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
So, and if someone comes up to you, you know what? Maybe you can convince them not to be toxic or at least lessen their toxicity. It's also, you also have an influence to other people.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So you can do that, like one way or another, even in small little things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love that.
That's
I
it.
love how we all just wanted to leave, and Joe was like, "No, you could be a positive difference." Andrea and I are like, we're preparing our resume, we're working our
Okay, this is a
application.
sign for us to leave.
Well,
God sign.
at this time, no, it's very hard to find work.
Yes,
It is. They
100%.
can't-
So, love what you're doing right now. Love your job. But, kung alam mo, love your job, why not?
Job
your love. I'm sorry, Ate, love your
It's
job.
fun. But if you feel like you're losing yourself, it's not worth it to stay.
Yeah.
Totoo.
Just,
Yeah.
malawak ang mundo.
Yeah.
It's true.
And the best time that I found, the best time to look for a job is while you still have one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me, but
Yeah. Don't make any rash
Yeah,
decisions.
don't make any rash decisions unless, it's a life or death situation.
Yeah,
But
tama.
once you're starting to see those red flags, then prepare the
Yeah.
exit plan. Doesn't mean you have to execute the exit
Yeah.
plan, but prepare it.
you're the
Plan
only one who
accordingly.
can take yourself out of that situation if you don't want to stay there.
Totoo,
Yes.
totoo.
Unless you really did something crazy and
At
they will
ikaw
kick
talaga
you
yung
out.
toxic.
You're the toxic.
If you're the toxic one, then
Well,
that's
anyway,
hilarious.
thank you guys for this episode.
Thank you. So as always, we hope that you learned something and you joined in our kwentuhan today. It's a bit heavy, but I think it's something that we all
Can relate.
can relate to one way or another. We'll end up encountering. So if you have any questions or concerns that you've
Or
encountered or comments or stories from times when you've encountered some of these things, we'd love to hear from you. You can comment on Spotify now, I believe.
Yeah.
So Spotify, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube.
and YouTube.
Wow.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Next week. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steph. Thanks, Andrea.
This is Title of the
Hey.
Podcast with Joe.
and Joe.
Bye, everyone.